Hey, good morning everyone. Got a brand new microphone. Thought I'd try it out on you with this pretty old video. Please excuse the quality. Right up front I'll tell you that it was recorded with someone else's phone, so the quality is kind of, well, it's not the best. And I made some adjustments to it so you could see what was going on, but really the big deal here is I get to try my new microphone. So I started this little 6x9 by wetting the background and dropping in cadmium orange and some cadmium yellow. And I'm just dragging a bit of ultramarine across the middle of the sky there to create some clouds. Now this one has a character, so I'm mopping out a little bit of the paint so that I can put my standard mustard pants in there and green sweater and just lifting out around the trunk. Now what I did there at the very end was I put a bit of orange at the horizon and then put a bit of it into the ground that's in the foreground there, because it will have I want it to have a bit of a glow, as I recall. So here just a bunch of cadmium yellow and yellow ochre. Really nice wet mixture. So again, the quality of the film is kind of crappy, but hopefully you can see what's going on here. And if you are painting along, you can use all your own colors to create the mood that you want. That was a bit of purple I put in there as well. I was kind of indicating a bit of a shadow coming off the trunk of that tree. So the foreground's going to be a bit darker. And I guess I'm assuming that the light is coming from behind, or from behind the character, Jed and his dog. Now while it was damp, I'm lifting out a bit of color because my foreground's a bit plain, so I'm just going to put a few rocks in there. These made up places, by the way, a lot of rocks and hills and that sort of thing, and freedom, like being out in the open, that sort of thing. That's all driven from imagination, and it's just, well, really what it is places I'd like to be, or places like that I've been. Kind of an idyllic world type of thing. So my foreground dried. Again, it's hard to tell with this film quality, but you can see all the brush strokes going in. So I want to darken up the foreground. It dried substantially lighter. So I'm using my greens now. So that's a sap green. Nice wet mixture of it. And just darkening up the foreground a bit as you get closer to the bottom of the page. And now I can come in with a bit of yellow ochre at the top. Yeah, it looks like I have the light coming from almost directly behind Jed there, the character. And if you're curious as to why he's called Jed, is with his hat and his pants, I was thinking of the Beverly Hillbillies. Okay, so there now I'm putting a bit of salt in just to give it a bit of texture in the foreground. So while that's doing its thing, I can talk about administrative things. I tried the chat out, and I'm so pleased that a number of you have posted your paintings on there. Hopefully that works. I'm not a real technical guy, so you know, if the chat works for you and you're able to post your stuff and talk about it, that's wonderful. Again, I'm not super technical, so hopefully it's a number of people have asked for it, a number of our members have asked for it, and hopefully it's working out, and that's what you're looking for. And if you want more, or you're better, or whatever, please let me know. Now for the tree, use my mop brush again. My mop brush, laying it on its side so I can create some interesting leaves, or the appearance of foliage there. So the mop brush holds, given its name that it's a mop, it does hold a lot of paint, and it's just awesome for I can lay it on its side and just hit the fat part of the brush on the paper and create all those leaves. Now with it really wet and the cadmium yellow, I'm grabbing some greens, and I can't tell which greens they are because they're outside of my camera angle there, but I'm assuming I got some sap green, and by the looks of it, some olive green in there as well. And the board's on a bit of a tilt, so I'm just having the, well, it's really wet, just letting it run down to the bottom of the foliage. And I'm going to do the same technique over here with this little guy in the background. I was dropping some salt in the tree to give it a bit of texture, and it's dried, and it did exactly what I wanted to do, just give it a little bit of interest up there. Now it's the ugly phase of the painting, so of course my Rotring pen has come out, and that is the 0.25 pen. Again, it's a tiny little image. I think the paper's 6x9, but the image actually boils down to, 5x7, something like that, because I did put a small mat on this at the end. Now here's all these little rocks. I'm just putting some shadow and putting a bit of color in them. I don't know if you can hear the dog snoring with my new microphone, but she's having a great little sleep in behind me here. Okay, so the rocks, I just wet them and just dropping in some darks and some burnt sienna and some Payne's gray with my round brush. And now I'm putting some made-up shadows in with the mop brush. Now with it all dry, and I think I'm happy with the foreground, I can go in and start inking the trunk of the tree and inking that foliage, and eventually get around to the character there. And now we can move on to the little doggy here. Burnt sienna. Kind of a cliche dog. Standing there already looking at something over the hill. Got his legs apart, his tail up, so he's all excited. And then I was just dropping, seeing as this side of the dog would be in shadow, in theory, I'm just dropping a bit of Payne's gray in at the base of him there. He's nice and wet, so I can just drop in some Payne's gray and let that work with the burnt sienna. And here come the mustard pants. Now for the skin tones, that's just a bit of, he's off in the distance, so not much detail required. So I put in a bit of raw sienna, and I put it in wet and then dabbed it out quickly, and then go in with it again and just add a little bit of red to it just to orange it up a bit. No need for a lot of detail. He's, again, tiny little character, and he's a bit back in the distance there. So putting on a nice, what's that, moss green sweater on him. Probably fussing a little bit too much. And then we'll finish it off with a nice big tall stovepipe hat here. I chose red and orange for the hat just to draw some attention to my guy, Jed. So it looks like we're in the home stretch here. That's my rigger brush. Love the rigger brush. And as always, that's just a combination of Payne's Gray, a bit of burnt sienna. I like having the burnt sienna in around the base of the tree there just to make it look like the light is hitting it. And then of course darker, the trunk would be darker up under the foliage. Now with all the tree and the foreground and everything painted in, I can get around to inking Jed. Got the palette out of the way and we can just finish this up. So again, not a whole lot of detail with the character, just I put a nose on him so you know you're looking at the front of him. You can tell he has his hands in his pockets. Again, careful not to put too much detail in here. Just outline it and walk away. And there you have it. I think that's it. Getting the signature on it, we can get the tape off it. And just to let you know, I'll have an urban scene up for you very soon. It's all filmed and everything. I just have to do the voiceover with my new microphone. So thanks for dropping by and experiencing stereo sound here. See you soon.